Hello and thanks for stopping by. This is Haunted House for the Atari 2600, published by Atari in 1982, and I'm playing this cartridge on a Retron 77. Haunted House is a unique game for the Atari that I didn't have as a kid, but I know I played it a few times, maybe at a friend's house. In this game, you are in a haunted house, and the goal is to first dodge any of the ghosts or monsters you might run into, and second, you need to find 3 pieces of a magic urn and get them to the entrance of the house. You have 9 lives, and there are 24 rooms in the mansion. 4 floors with 6 rooms each on each floor. Each floor is a different color, if you're playing in that particular mode, which is great to help keep me engaged personally. I'm big into variety. And there are staircases at various places of each floor. Basically, you walk to a staircase and go through it, and you will either go up or down a level. The pieces of the urn are randomly scattered around floors and rooms, so each game is going to be a little different. You press the fire button to light a match, and then you need to search around for the urn. You need to have a match lit in order to pick up an item. The number of matches you have is tracked at the bottom of the screen, and that number rises with each match that you use. The fewer matches that you use, the more points you're going to get at the end of the level when you beat it. There are other items you can pick up as you play, or at least a few of them, but you can only hold on to one at a time, so if you have the urn and pick up, say, the scepter, you have to drop the urn. The scepter is something that's used to make you invisible to creatures in the mansion. There might also be a master key if you're playing that game. For games 3 through 9, the game has locked doors, and you have to grab the master key in order to get through the doors. The urn is something that's going to assemble itself as you start picking up the pieces, and when you finally get the full set, all 3 pieces, you need to make your way back to the main entrance of the mansion, and then it makes a little jingle and you beat the level. There are sounds associated with the game that are supposed to add to the ambiance of the game. If it's something that's actually successful with this game, I guess I'll leave that up to you. There are bumps as you slam into walls or doors, or flashes of lightning and there's wind blowing around. It also will blow out your match sometimes. It's clever enough, I think. In this game, you're represented by a pair of eyes, and as you move around, the eyes are going to move around as well. It just feels sort of right for this game, I think. It kind of gives it this Scooby-Doo cartoony type of a feeling. I don't know if I'd feel the same about this game if there was, just even a basic avatar on the screen. I really think the eyes work here. It's decent. There are different difficulty settings for this game too. The B difficulty makes it so lightning will flash every now and again, and then as this happens it'll actually light up the mansion for you. At least for a moment you can look around. If the difficulty level is set to A, you just have to feel your way around the mansion. There also are a bunch of game variations here. I think there's 9 of them that you can select and play. Game 1 is the beginning game, and all the walls are lighted up to help you get around. There are different color floors, and there are no doors stopping you from going anywhere, so you don't have to worry about keys. There are 3 basic creatures trying to scare you. There's a bat, a tarantula, and a ghost. If one touches you, you lose a life. Basically, you have 9 lives in this game. Game 2 is a game where the mansion is completely dark, and there are no locked doors in this one, and there are creatures. I guess it's like the first game, but just you can't see the walls. Game 3 is the same as Game 2, but there are going to be some locked doors, and now there's a master key that's found in the first room. Basically, you grab it, and you have to have that in your possession as you go through doors. Game 4 is the same as 3, but the master key isn't in the first room. It's randomly assigned somewhere in the level. Game 5 is the same thing, but you have additional tarantulas that are chasing you. Game 6, you have 5 creatures in total that can actually chase you between rooms, and only ghosts can move through the locked doors. Game 7, you'll need to avoid the bat. If the bat touches you, you're going to lose all your objects, and it'll get scattered throughout the mansion, so best to avoid the bats. Game 8 is pretty much the same as 7, but things move faster, and ghosts are not affected by the scepter if you pick up the scepter. Basically, the scepter is used. If you have it, it will prevent creatures from actually touching you. Game 9 is supposed to be the toughest game of the lot. It has the gameplay of Game 8, but the floor plan is a totally different maze of rooms, and all 5 creatures can chase you from room to room and through locked doors. The manual I read suggested that if you find the scepter early on, it might be worth using it to search the mansion, just to figure out where everything is and all the pieces of the urn are before you pick them up. If you can identify where they all are, you might be able to get a quicker run through the game to try to collect them all. Haunted House is a decent enough little game. Like a lot of the Atari 2600 games, it's a unique experience in some ways, and it's nice that this is one of those games that actually has a bunch of variety in terms of gameplay on the cartridge. A lot of different potential games you can play. I like that. I'm glad I found a copy, and it's in a really good shape too, so that's nice. Well, That's all I have today for Haunted House for the Atari 2600. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on another video.